So you may be in the process of starting to run your own business like I am, or maybe you even own your own business currently. And there's a lot of content and people out there saying that you need to be the best at everything when you start your own business, right? And while there is some validity to that, it's not necessarily true. So what do I mean? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into business, right? Especially if you're doing online business like I am, or even brick and mortar. There's email marketing, right? You need to be able to collect leads and send emails and create campaigns and monetize people who are interested with your brand. There's paid traffic, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You need to be able or have the knowledge of getting your message in front of the right people. Because Facebook, right, a couple of years ago, they changed their whole algorithm where if you just post on Facebook blindlessly or cluelessly, that you're only gonna get like one like if you're lucky. And most businesses are doing that, right? They just post to Facebook, and they have the mentality of post and they will come, right? Or post and they will see. And that's not how it works anymore. It's more of a pay to play type of game, right? So you have email, you have paid traffic, you have HR. You need to be able to hire a good team, right? Every successful person has always said that they've never done anything alone, especially Bill Gates. America, not even America, the richest man in the world, said that the only thing he did by himself was take tests, right? So you need to know HR, how to hire people, how to fire people, how to motivate people. You also need to know or be able to product manage. You need to be organized. You need to be able to say, hey, we need to, we have emails that need to go out. Let's make sure that we meet deadlines, right? We need to hold people accountable. There's so many things that go into business, right? Website design, website management, funnels. There's so many things. Now the question is, do you need to be good at everything? And it's a yes or no thing, right? No, you don't need to be the best at it, because that's impossible. That goes to basic economics, the principle of competitive advantage, right? If the Dominican Republic can grow cocoa beans effortlessly, if it takes them less resources and less energy, if they don't have to go, digging out their whole country to find cocoa, if it's just cocoa beans galore, while another nation, let's say Vietnam, has to drill like they're drilling for oil to find a cocoa bean. Well, it's just smarter for the Dominican Republic to trade with Vietnam. That way, it's more efficient, right? And that's the same thing for business. Maybe you're not the strongest copywriter, right? So copywriting, persuasion using words is another thing that you need to be able to be good at in business, right? Because everything is using words, right? I said PPC and paid advertising. Well, what are you advertising? Words. So that should have been the first thing I said. You need to be able to be persuasive. But maybe you aren't the most persuasive. Maybe you aren't the best on camera or the best writer. So what do? Now, I said no, you don't need the best, but I do believe you need to be competent. Because if you're starting your own business, or if you're in the process of starting your own business, or if you're the head man or lady in charge, the buck stops with you. So if you're not competent, then you won't be able to know, okay, is this good, or are they going in the right direction, or you won't be able to pick apart what may be wrong. And, we spoke about HR. You won't be able to hire or fire the people, or know if they're right or wrong, because you don't know what they're doing. Right? Now, you may not be able to craft words or be the best wordsmither, but you could be like, hey, okay, this, you're not hitting these triggers or these pain points. And you be able to assess the copy, because if you don't know how to copywrite, you don't know that, the first thing about it, you might spend $10,000 on somebody to write your copy for you and they're terrible, when you could have dissected that in the beginning and been able to save your money, right? It's the same thing for traffic or paid advertising. Well, you don't need to be the best or the most knowledgeable how to run Facebook ads, but if you know that Facebook changed the algorithm, and if you just post blindlessly that you only get 3 likes, well, when somebody who's helping with your social media is just posting without boosting, then you'll be able to know, okay, this person is the right for me. So, no, you don't need to be the best at everything. That's almost impossible. There's no big company out there that's ran by one sole person. Doing everything by yourself is a fool's game. But I believe you do need to be competent, right? There's a famous story. I'm not sure if it was Bill Gates or somebody where they hired an associate, right? Some intern type of person, and they were on the computer and they had an issue. So they asked, whoever it was, but the man, the owner of the business to help them. And the owner of the business sat down and he did the programming himself better than an associate could, right? That's ideally where you want to be in as many positions as possible. You need to be better, or at least be able to sit down and do it yourself if it were to come down to it. Now, the land of milk and honey, right? The cloud 9, the optimal place you want to be is you want to be able to hire more people that are smarter than you, right? That's the kind of nirvana of business. When you have just a cabinet similar to the, being a president of the United States, if you have a cabinet of people who are just smarter than you and experts at each position, well, that also might not be totally realistic at whatever stage that you are, but that's where you want to achieve, right? That's the end goal. But to start, you need to be at least confident so you can hire the correct people. When you sit down and interview, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, this person doesn't. So when it comes to me and my own business, where does that leave me? Well, it leaves me stuck, or at least feeling kind of overwhelmed right now, because I am knowledgeable in a lot of different areas, right? So I spent the last 18 months of my life learning and being an apprentice over one of the top internet marketers in the world. And I've learned a thing or two about email marketing. I've learned a thing or two about paid traffic. I've learned a thing or two about copywriting, but I'm not the best, right? Because just how my job was, I was more of an assistant than I was actually in the trenches doing the work. Now, I know the things that are important, right? I just named it to you all the things previously: email marketing, copywriting, paid traffic, HR, funnel, optimization, and things like that. Now, I know that's important. However, I don't have enough experience in it to be totally confident that I can sit down and do it the best of myself, right? There's some things I'm more confident than others. So what am I doing to remedy the situation? Well, fortunately enough for me, I was getting paid a decent enough salary where I went and bought a lot of programs or online educational courses that have to do with the important things, right? So the first step for me was learning what was important, right? Softwares and things like that, and all the different departments. Now the second thing was I went and bought those things and courses on those things so I could be better at it. Now I will caution you, and this is something I'm trying to fix within myself. The last 2 days I've kind of just been studying and sitting on my computer and researching and taking these courses. However, you do need to balance research and studying with action, because if you have a ton of courses like I do, well, you'll be stuck here day after day, hour after hour, week after week, just taking the courses and not implementing it. And I think that is what is wrong with the education system, that there's kids go through 14 years of schooling and don't apply it side by side, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking an hour of courses in the morning, hour of courses before I go to bed, and I'm using the day to kind of implement the things that I'm learning. Now, obviously, there's going to be some feeling that, okay, I could be doing it better, or if I would have finished the course, then I could go. But I also think that's a fool's game, because, I as humans, especially entrepreneurs, if you're watching this, you have an entrepreneurial mentality, there's a part of us that's never satisfied. So I think we need to just take a bite at a time and implement it slowly and be okay, right? Well, my former boss said sometimes you need to embrace the chaos, embrace the fact that things aren't going to be perfect, and then fine tune it over time, right? This is a long-time game. Business is a long-time thing. If you're, I'm 22, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, you still have a lot more years left. So just be confident and patient that you'll figure it out and that you'll get better over time, and then you can always go back and fine-tune things. So I'm not sure if I'm making this video to kind of explain it to you or to kind of brainwash myself that it's time to execute. However, that's where I'm at right now. So I just, to bring it all around, no, you don't need to be the best at everything. However, you do need to be confident, at least, competent and at least knowledgeable in all the different areas. If you're not, you can buy online courses or you can apprentice under somebody who does know. Now that might not be totally realistic for those of you who are up in age, who have families and things like that. However, for you younger guys in high school, getting out of high school, getting out of college, that's totally reasonable to kind of, throw a year away. Well, not necessarily throw a year away, that's not a phrase I want to use, but kind of, chalk a year to learning, which is what I did, a year and a half. And for those of you who can't do that, then you have a lot of online courses like Coursera, Udemy, all these type of, edX or something like that. There's a lot of, online platforms that teach you how to do Google AdWords and Facebook and stuff like that. And, if you have a job, you might have to come out your pocket, and it's not necessarily an expense if you're getting a return on it. Now, technically in accounting it is, but realistically, if it's making you a return, what did you really pay? So, with that being said, take your courses, apprentice if you can, be competent, and then hire around the things that is not your competitive advantage, right? So if you're a strong writer, hire around everything else around that. If you're strong at ads and back-end and analytics, hire around the creative side of things. Find out your competitive advantage, hire around until you get people who are just totally experts. And while you're doing that, also execute at the same time. So I start, hitting the streets next week, Monday, Tuesday. I start going to dentists, doctors, chiropractors. Right now, currently, I have my former boss before I went to LA. We're collabing on some projects. It's kind of spec work right now. However, obviously, once we start generating revenue, then I will start getting paid. And I think that, I'm practicing what I preach. I'm okay with the spec work right now because it's giving me a platform to hone my skills and to practice. Since I'm not getting paid, obviously, there's little or less expectation, less kind of pressures, and more freedom to do what, I mean, he's totally just getting into the internet marketing game, so I have total creative control over everything. And, I'm practicing my skills, honing my skills. So when I do take it to dentists, chiropractors, and whoever I want to take it to, whoever you want to take it to, I'm going to be more confident. And that's what I said in my one of my previous videos, that sometimes spec work is good because it's just like practice. Now, obviously, you'll get to a point where you're really good and, spec work, you shouldn't do any more spec work. However, if you're just beginning out like me, I think spec work is a great way to give you an opportunity and platform to practice your skills without the pressure of ruining your reputation or, losing out on clients. Although that isn't inevitable, I believe if, when you're young, you have a lot more time. Your time is on your side. In a sense, obviously, we could die any moment. However, time is on your sense. And I think when you're a little bit younger, you can play a long-term game and really hone your skills and hold out on the cash out and allow that to your skills and honing your skills to pay more dividends in the future. So that's where I'm at in my business. That's my advice to you right now. Of course, I'll be taking the camera on the streets. I'll be recording, voice notes on my phone and kind of giving you the raw, uncut footage on how to, approach this sales thing and this business thing. Taking you from the, documenting my journey. That's all I'm doing. I'm just documenting my journey, documenting my thoughts so I can look back and say, hey, wow, I'm in a different place at 34 than I was at 22. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below. What is your competitive advantage? What are you the best at? What do you need around you? Who are you going to hire around you, and how are you going to do it? Right? How are you going to find this talent? Are you going to go to network events? Are you going to put ads out on things like Indeed, Craigslist? How are you going to get the talent around you? And what is your biggest problem in your business right now. So I will catch you later, and I look forward to enjoying this nice little camera I have and letting you guys on my journey, you know. So, peace.